What is up everyone, welcome to this video. Today we are talking about how to improve your art over time. Make that good art progress, baby. That's what we're talking about today. The way we do that is by focusing on this one thing. And that one thing, my friends, is incremental growth. We want to ensure that year over year our art improves. And we'll do this in a few steps. Step number one is we have to set up a goal. We want to make sure that we have a clear idea of what we are trying to improve towards. You want to know what it is that you're aiming for, because you can't just improve broadly. That's not a good way to make art progress. You want to improve at the thing that you want to make. So as an example for this video, let's talk about portrait drawing. Let's say that you're a person that wants to get good at drawing faces. Now we have a goal, we know what that is, and you might want to figure out what kind of style that you want to do it in, but you don't have to figure that out yet, right? Early on, all you have to do is focus on, I want to be good at portrait drawing. So what you do then is you break it down to its component parts. We have our goal. Step number two is you want to break it down into its component parts. So for portrait drawing, we have the head shape, the eyes, the nose, the lips, the ears, and the hair. So I think that's 6. Hopefully I got that right. I can't count. I'm an artist for a reason. So you have those component parts. Now you move on to step number 3, which is you take each component part, practice each one separately so that you get good at that step first, each step first, right? So you don't want to jump ahead and try to do all of them at the same time. You want to make sure that you're taking each component part, improving at each one separately, and then combine it together. And then look for bad habits, right? This is really important. This is really important to understand, because a lot of people skip this step, and this is why people plateau. They don't look for mistakes in their work. So what you do is you draw a bunch of faces. So let's say you're doing portrait drawing. So you might want to pick one angle that you're drawing a bunch of faces, draw a bunch of them, and then look for mistakes that you're making consistently. So it's not about a mistake that you make one time. It's a mistake that you make multiple times. If you make a mistake 3 times out of 9, that means that you have this bad habit. So then what you have to do is you have to take out that component again and practice it until you're good at it, right? So let's say, for example, that your eyes come off wonky. Then what you do is you say, okay, I'll take this component out, the eye drawing component, and practice it. And you know which angle to do it at to make sure that you get good at that angle, because you drew a bunch of faces at the same angle. So then you know which angle you keep screwing it up at. So then you keep repeating this process over and over and over again, year over year. You'll just improve drastically. All about this process. Setting a goal, then breaking it down to its component parts, learning each component, combining it, and then seeking out mistakes, and then isolating the mistake, and then fixing that bad habit. And if you keep doing this year over year, you will be unstoppable. You'll just get really good. And it's the last step that's really important. It's the last step that people forget. People usually do the first few steps where they try to emulate artists they like, but then over time they get blind to their weaknesses, get blind to their bad habits. So what you want to do is make sure that that's part of your process on a regular basis. Maybe every time you finish a sketchbook, or every time you do a set of studies, or if you do, maybe every week you sit down, depending on how much drawing you do, right? Like if you draw very casually, then maybe once a month. If you draw a lot, like if you draw every day for an hour, every week, take some time, figure out what it is that you're doing wrong. And I'll use a personal example for this. When I draw portraits, my eyes usually come off a little bit wonky because I'm not very good at symmetry. So I know that, I need to keep practicing this, and that's what I've been doing this week. I've been practicing a lot of portraits, and it's really hot in here. I don't know why I'm wearing this. By the way, this one was sweating. Hopefully that doesn't show up too much on the screen. I'm like really shiny probably. Anyways, so the eyes come off wonky, and therefore I need to practice that. So then I know this. Now I can go back, practice that over and over again, make sure that I got the symmetry. Things you want to look out for portrait drawing is like the angles and stuff. There's a bunch of things that you need to look out for, and you need to figure out what mistake you're making. But always start out with its component parts separately. So whatever you're trying to learn, let's say you want to learn how to draw a bunch of nature things, landscapes, then maybe you just pick trees, learn how to do tree trunks, learn how to do the leaves, different types of trees, and then keep going back and figuring out what you've done wrong, and then improving. That is the way to make a lot of art progress, improve your art really quickly, is to do it in those few steps. Hopefully that was useful to you. If you like that, feel free to stick around by subscribing. And if you're interested in learning how to draw, I got tons of tutorials on the website. I got a bunch of portrait drawing tutorials, which is why I kind of use that example, because it's something that I'm working on. I have a bunch of tutorials with free worksheets and stuff that you can check out on the site. And also feel free to stick around and stay in touch by getting on the mailing list over on the website. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.